Okay, welcome forward once again, U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation, ISV International players, coaches, admins, and everybody else involved in our online virtual tutorials, guys. And we have made it back to the FIDE Ratings Tournament 2023 year of March. It's your host and operator, Colin Heim, guys, with U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation. And let's begin with another game match from the Ratings Tournament this March season, this playlist. If you guys have made it to this playlist, this playlist is for beginners, advanced level players, and intermediate level players, guys, all around, for us to learn and improve our chess online and over the board. And if we decide that we want to play and engage in tournament chess later in the future, and we want to start a career in chess at U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation, well, guys, if you have any interest at all in chess, you have come to the right place to learn from FIDE-rated tournament games with your host and operator, Colin Heim. Guys, thank you for the introduction. Let's get right into it. This game was played at the FIDE Ratings Tournament number 4, the final FIDE Ratings Tournament of the 2023 season in March. And in this game, I had the white pieces. I was a lot of the white pieces in the second round against Reese Creswell, who is a longtime member of the U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation, has been to multiple Olympiads, participated in multiple Olympiads with the men's open national team on many occasions. So a very experienced player. I had to face off against her with the black pieces. With the white pieces, my opponent had the black pieces. And guys, I started the game with 1 to e4, so let's get right into this game. Guys, your operator had white, as we just mentioned. So I went for e4, e6, this was round 2. I had just come off of a loss in the first round to Justin. I had lost the game against him with the white pieces. I'd blundered a rook and pawn endgame and made a very crucial error, e6. Justin, we're going to go over that game in the next, in the next video, and we're going to analyze that game and look at maybe some drawing chances that we had right in the end game had I not played e6. But all deserved victory there, Jay. So we'll get to that in the next video. Guys, let's focus on the French defense now before I get too carried away with other things. So we have e4, e6, d4, and d5. Okay, so we're going to see the exchange French. E takes on d5, e takes on d5, and c4. Okay, guys, c4 is a very notable continuation. This is seen in one of Garry Kasparov's books from 1989 when he was world champion. So c4. And guys, in this game, my opponent Reese Creswell played bishop to b4, check to the white king. Okay, guys, well, the notation says it all below. This game was 35 moves long. And let's, maybe without looking at the notation or looking at the notation, guys, find the move that your instructor here, your operator, your online host played. Okay, so I just played bishop to d2. And in this position, my opponent captured. Well, the typical French exchange line after bishop to b4 and c4 is just knight captures. But guys, I went for queen to d2 in this game, okay? So we already have kind of a new game, so to speak. Knight to f6. It's not a book line. Anyways, guys, queen to d2 is not the book line. The book line goes like this. Then knight to f6. Knight to f3. And knight to c6. Bishop d3. Castles, castles. Okay, takes. Takes, takes. Okay. And this is very interesting, right? You guys have seen this. You guys have seen this tactic before. Bishop h7 check. Well, on the next move, if king captures, you're just losing the queen. That's a really old line, an old trap. You're never supposed to take on the d4 square after knight takes. Okay, so we'll go over that tactic again, guys, for my beginners. So let's go over this main line now. If I was to play the main line, let's take it back a little bit with knight to d2. So we're going after, instead of queen takes on d2, we're going for the main line, as mentioned just previously, guys, with knight to d2. We're about 5 minutes in, guys, and we're going to go over this beginner's tactical line right now for my learners at ISV and U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation. Guys, thank you for paying attention and playing along. So here's how the line goes. I'm going to show it to you now, okay? Once more. Knight f6. Knight from g to f3, knight to c6, bishop to d3, short castles, and d captures on c4, knight captures on c4, and the d4 is a poison pawn. So if knight does decide to capture here, which we see is a red square, it means no, no, no. That's not what we're supposed to do here. If you capture back with the knight and queen captures, guys, there's bishop to h7 check, and we're just winning the queen if you capture. If black does not decide to capture in this position and play something else, well, you're still just hanging the queen, and white is completely winning. White is up a full queen for a minor piece, okay? Okay, guys, so we didn't see any of that in the game. Let's go back to what was played. Queen to d2, knight to f6, knight to c3, queen to e7 check to the white king. And in this position, I wasn't too disturbed by queen to e7 check. Well, it was better to just develop the queenside knight to c6. And the game can continue after maybe long castles from white, which is a candidate move. Another candidate move is just bishop to d3. Now after takes, and now maybe black decides to castle. I can castle queenside at this point, but we didn't see that in the game, guys. Instead, we just saw queen to e7 check as mentioned, and I played the move queen to e2, saying, well, you know, if you decide to capture my queen, well, you can take back with the bishop, and then after you decide to maybe develop your bishop to somewhere like e6, I can go to the h3 or the f3 square to hop with my pony and get your knight developed to c6, and maybe we both can castle queenside. Who knows? Anyway, that was not played in the game, guys. My opponent here, after queen to e2, played the move bishop to e6, and I like bishop to e6 a lot. So it was in this position after bishop to e6 that I had quite a long think. Both my opponent and I were playing in a classical game, guys, and all of the saga of the 4 ratings tournaments that we had in a matter of 8 days, by the way. So, guys, we had 4 tournaments in the matter of 8 days at the U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation. So we all need to give ourselves a huge round of applause and numerous pats on the back because of the work that we did and that we put in so that we can, you know, get our folks where we need to be in their chess careers and beyond. Okay. Anyways, bishop to e6. I played c captures on d5. My opponent played knight captures on d5, knight captures on d5, bishop captures on d5. And this is exactly what I wanted after queen to e7. And what does this mean, guys, for my beginners? That we're losing castling privileges after king captures on e7, okay? So black can no longer capture in this position, all right? So this is exactly what we saw in the game. Now 12 moves in, guys. Knight to e2, thank you for participating. Rook to e8, king to d2 played by myself. Now undoing the pin from the progress of the rook on e8 if it ever decides. Okay, so my opponent played knight to d7, guys. The best move in the position is just to play knight to c6. Knight to c6 is sharper. Now there's more pressure on the isolated d pawn. And in this position, I would still play knight to f4. If knight captures here on d4, I'll obviously capture here with check. And this would be just doomsday for black. Black would never play that. I was just going over a line for you guys to see what would be the consequences of such a move. Okay, knight captures on d4. Okay, that wouldn't happen. So instead, after knight to d7, guys, I played knight to f4, and the plan is clear. I want to attack the d5 bishop. So my opponent here, Reese Creswell, played an excellent move, and that move is knight to f6, and says, well, now if you capture on d5, well, I'll just recapture with the knight, and that's exactly what we saw in the game. We just saw the knight recapturing one time, guys, and it was in this position that I played the move bishop to c4. Now putting an attack on the knight. The knight is undefended. And my opponent played the move c6. That defends the knight. Guys, I played the move rook from h to e1. That's check to the black king. And king to f8. Bishop to d5, taking on d5. Now c takes on d5. Now both white and black have a isolated d pawn. And I really like my position here. I have a more active king. And the game continued after rook captures on e8 with check, guys. And what did my opponent capture back with, guys? Find the best move for black in the position after I give everyone a couple of seconds. Find the best move for black. What do we want to capture with, the king or the rook? Okay, well, capturing with the rook is best. If you guys found rook e8, that's correct. I played the move rook to c1. Now the point is clear. I want to get to the d5 square and capture. Okay, g6. Well, it was better in the position to just defend. And after this, if you attempt to kick away the rook, I can go up to c7. If a5 is played, now I can attack this pawn. And if you defend both, now I'm getting my king into the forefront, and I just have a more active king. and I would much rather play with white in that rook and pawn endgame, okay? All right, so rook to e8, rook to e8, rook c1, and g6 played by my opponent. Rook to c5 as mentioned, rook to e7, well, defending b7, but that's going to drop the d5 pawn, so rook takes on d5. White is winning the isolated d pawn in black's camp. Okay, so king to d3 after a6, and now we have rook to e6, rook to d7, and b5. Okay, so b5 was an interesting move. Now that allows me to push d5, attacking the rook. Rook is going to f6, attacking f3, f2, f3, and king to e8. Guys, rook to a7 and h6. Okay, so I want you guys to set this position up over the board now for my beginners at ISV. I want you guys to go ahead now and, as mentioned, set this up over the board and try to win this for white. You're up a pawn and in a clear advantageous position as you have a activated king. If you're conducting team white, that is, and black has a very much inactive king. And notice, guys, how the black king is also cut from the action. It cannot make any progress past the 7th rank because the rook situated on the a7 square is just simply keeping the king from making any progress towards the center of the border being developed. Okay, guys, so in this position, let's continue. Move 28, king e4, rook to b6, 29, king e5, and f6 check. Well, f6 check is a great move, and my opponent caught me there, so I had to go back to d4. That was very nicely played. g5, king c5 now, going after the rook on b6. Rook to b8. Rook takes on a6. King f7. Rook b6 now. Well, we're going to win the b5 pawn if takes, takes. So in the game, my opponent just captured on b6. I recaptured with the king. b4 was played and king to c7. And guys, that was the last move of the game. King to c7 and black resigns. Guys, I really enjoyed this French exchange variation with c4. I haven't played a French defense, or I haven't been given a French defense by my opponent as I am an e4 player. I have not been given this in a long time, and it was something interesting. I really enjoyed it. It was a short game. Both players in this match, as again, this was a classical game, like I told you guys, we both did not use more than maybe 18 minutes on our clock each. So we were playing as if it was like a rapid game, okay? Which I thought was interesting as well. We didn't spend more than maybe 16 or 17 minutes each on the entire game, okay? All right, guys, well, thank you very much, and that concludes this video, and much more to come in the future. I have a few more games from the saga of the FIDE Ratings Tournament held in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, under the U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation, and thanks again to everyone for their efforts, and may we continue to prosper and beyond in the future. You guys take care of yourselves online and over the board. Take your time at chess, as chess is a very challenging game. I encourage you guys to keep watching these videos as I keep bringing more material to you guys week in and week out. Guys, take care of yourselves and see everyone on the other side of the chessboard. And bye-bye for now.